For my special education speech, I actually wanted to discuss my grandfather's funeral at Arlington Cemetery, as it's probably one of the most interesting experiences of my life, and it's also it's like the only funeral I've ever been to in my life. Every other member of my family has been cremated without much pomp or circumstance, so, old picture. This was my grandfather, that's me. And, well, in addition to the normal things that happen at a typical funeral with military honors at Arlington Cemetery, there was also perhaps the most interesting thing was the big reception that happened beforehand because, well, my grandfather spent close to 30 years in the United States Navy, and most of that was on a submarine. He was a Navy submariner. And while in the Black Sea on a submarine, which, if you know anything, is actually interesting in its own right, because U.S. submarines are not supposed to be in the Black Sea because of rules about passing through the straits through Turkey. During the Cold War, my father's submarine, the Nathaniel Greene, was following a Russian submarine. Now, what they do in those cases is get really close behind the submarine, so the other submarine can't hear them, the submarine you're on, over their own sonar and engine sounds. And what they do in response to this is do a 360 maneuver to check behind them. When Nathaniel Greene was too close, and it actually collided with a Russian submarine during the Cold War. They bumped. And then they proceeded to run for their lives because, well, if you survive an undersea collision, you consider yourself lucky. And what was so miraculous about that reception was this was early 2000s, so relations were better. They found the captain of the Russian submarine they ran into on the internet, and he actually gave his account of what happened and everything. His daughter translated because his daughter spoke English. Yeah, his daughter spoke English, and that was just the wildest experience to have as a little kid. Just hear all that, and it's honestly really impressive. Just because something like that, there's no chance of it happening anymore. Relations with Russia, as you know, are quite bad, and that was just a remarkable experience of two groups of people coming together after the Cold War, and I don't know. I honestly wish my grandfather was there to see it. It was pretty special. And then, well, he got buried. He was in a cremation box. They put the cremation box in a full-blown casket, and they draw it behind the horse. They don't get a tiny one for the cremation box, and he's currently interred at Arlington Cemetery in Virginia, and that's the special occasion I wanted to talk about.